Hear me, please.
Yes, I can hear you. I think it's already time. You can.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Um, my name is Einstein Ikwele, and I'm from the Python team. And I'm here to today's topic of KD is data governance, ethics, and privacy. Now, I believe this topic applies to everyone here because one way or the other, we have signed up either way by giving out our data. And I'm here to talk to you of how the company or entities who get our data, how they manage, process, and secure our data, one way or the other. So I think it's a very important topic for us, and I'm hoping we'll get some more insights on data governance, ethics, and privacy. So moving on. So what is data governance? Definition of data governance. Data governance is the process of managing the availability, usability, integrity, and security of the data in an enterprise system based on internal standards and policies that also controls data usage. It encompasses the policies, procedures, and control that ensures data is managed effectively throughout its life cycle, from creation to deletion. Now, take for example, when we sign up for social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we give, for example, now Facebook, when we sign up, Facebook asks us for our name, phone number, email, password, those things, those data are our personal data. So the process by which Facebook manages our data, protects it, and uses it, that's what they call data governance, the overall view of how they manage our data, what they use our data, from the time we create our profiles till the time it's deleted, is what they call data governance. Be it protecting our data from external hackers, external online predators, also known as hackers, so that they don't have access to our personal data, is part of data governance too. And now, what is ethics? Ethics simply refers to the moral principle governing data collection, use, and sharing. Like, for example, now, when you sign up for Facebook, they will tell you the terms and conditions and what they need to do, how they will manage your data, and what not they will do. So the process by which Facebook gets in your data, the ethics, the moral principle by which they get in our data is basically the ethics in data governance. And while privacy concerns the protection of individual personal information, we all know what privacy is. The protection of individual personal information. That's they will tell you that when you sign up, they will tell you that look, your data will be protected from so and so. That they will not share your personal data to third-party apps or third-party organization. Nobody will have access to your personal data, and it's your right as a data user or as a person owner of the profile to have privacy to your personal data. Now, so the ethics and the privacy envelopes in data governance. Data governance um, basically envelopes all that is in the ethics and the privacy. That's we have the organization, the sorry, the organization, the policies, the data catalogs, the data analytics and definitions, data sourcing, data qualities and master data, and data operations and data security. So it basically envelopes all there is, and the whole main body is called data governance, how they manage it. So what are the importance of data governance? It prevents losses resulting from ineffective operations. That's a good data governance system in an organization or an entity prevent losses from ineffective operations. It raises rising needs for analytics. That's your data you get can be used to provide business insight, meaningful insights, real-life insights onto how you can manage your data or improve your test test run it. If you want to use for example, you want to use your customers' data now, they can use real life data on analytics, business analytics to improve their real life foresight in business. The third one is observing data regulations. Now, there are set of regulations that are put in place. There are laws and policies that are put in place by different jurisdiction, one way or the other, to protect personal data. That companies will get your data, and there's a particular law that prevents them from not sharing it or giving it out to third-party organizations or giving your data out to any sort of request from external bodies. The next one is data security. We all know what data security is: protecting of data. The personal data we give out to organization, or for example now Facebook, they have every right to protect our data from external parties. Like now, if you are signing up and they will tell you this is what we want to use your data for, we're not going to share your data to external third-party organization, and you agree to the terms and conditions. Now, if they do that, that is in breach of their data security. Now, accelerating digital strategies. Now, when you have a good data governance system in your organization or your entity, it helps to accelerate digital strategies in the sense that you'll be able to improve on your day-to-day access to data and digital foresight in order to improve online access. Now, what is data governance framework? What are data governance framework? There are different data governance framework, but these are the main parts. We have the people, the strategy, the process by which the data is gotten, the policies that are put in place in the data governance board system, the standards by which the data is gotten, the security, the socialization, and communication in the data governance system, the metrics and KPIs, and the technology used in accessing the data. Now, we'll just basically go to talk briefly on some of the frameworks in data governance. Now, we have the people. The data governance professionals, that's the data stewards and other key businesses and IT staffs, are the backbone of the data governance program. They establish and develop workflows to ensure that the enterprise data governance requirements are met. Now, for instance, last year, I was given a project to design a website for an organization in Canada. So when I was given that, when I finished doing the layout and everything, when it came to the terms and conditions, because it was a consulting firm, so there was a part where we had to collect data from users who are signing up. So there was a part where the owner of the website had to call me and say, okay, look, these are the terms and conditions, these are the laws requirements in Canada, that I should go through it and I should make up a stable write-up for the privacies and laws that govern it. That whatever we're doing, this is what a requirement, and this is that is required for the company to do in protection of their data. Now, that is a strategy, and that is being that I'm the data steward that helps in managing the data. I was able to write up and brief up a well-stable framework for that. Now, the next one is the data strategy. The data governance team plays a crucial role in the development and implementation roadmap of an organization's data strategy. Well, we all know how that works out. Then the next one is the data process. The data governance programs needs to establish key data processes for data management. These include data issue tracking or resolution, data quality monitoring, data sharing, and many others. That is the process by which the data is gotten, by which is managed, by which is tracked, the test. If they want to use your data to do test run, they will let you know, and they should bring out a good process of how those things are being carried out. Now we have data. The next one, we have data policies. The data policy is a high-level set of one or more statements that states expectations and expected outcomes of data that influences and direct data habits. These are basically the data policies that are put in place by an organization to help improve the data habits in the organization. The next outline we have is data standards and rules. The data standards provides a framework and an approach to ensure adhere to rules and regulations. Like I said earlier on, there are legal policies that are put in place by various jurisdictions, and every organization has to adhere to that rule. So data standards and rules are part of the framework to approach to ensure adhere to the rules and regulations. Now, the next outline is communication. The data governance communication includes all written, spoken, and electronic interactions with associations, association audiences who need to know about the data governance team's activity. Now, there must be a good communication within the data governance team in order to know what is being carried out and what um, interactions and associations that are being carried out in the data governance organization and team. Now, the next we have is socialization. Socialization of data governance is an important activity in any governance program. The data governance socialization plan is a plan that helps integrate data governance activities into our organization policies, internal culture, hierarchy, processes. The plan is unique to the organization as it's tailored to its culture and standard of behavior. Now, every organization, one way or the other, has his or her ways of how it manages and socializes in the data governance system, by which how they communicate and tell customers or their users their policies on what and what not to do. Now we have the technology. The data governance programs need various technologies that make the process seamless and automated. Smaller data governance programs typically use the technology stack, which they already have within the enterprise. So there are various technologies that are used to govern and used to make the process of data governance seamless and automated. These are part of the frameworks in data governance. Now, we move to ethics. Now, earlier on, I said ethics is the moral compass of how which data governance are being carried out. So there are various ethics in data governance. The first one is fairness and bias. Addressing biases in data collection, algorithm, and AI system to ensure equitable outcomes for all individuals. Now, take for example, now this iPhone iWatch, Apple iWatch. Let's say our Apple iWatch is used to there's a function in Apple iWatch that used to detect a person's heartbeats. Now, Apple has various users all over the whole world, be it black, white, brown, or whichever color. Now, if they decide to only test run the data for only black, like for example, now I'm black, and they decide to test run the data for only black people, and they leave out the white people, and I put in the Apple iWatch and I try to test out the function of the heartbeat detector, and it detects my heartbeat, and the other guy that is white and it doesn't detect the heartbeats, that is bias. We might laugh over it and say, okay, this thing, it didn't work for you, but it worked for me. That is biased. And that is just basically making an example on Apple. Well, if it's a medical field and it's a life and death situation, it's very, very important for fairness and bias and true bias in ethics and data governance and getting data and data governance. The next one we have is transparency, providing clear and understandable information about data practices to stakeholders, including data subjects. Now, whatever process they get in getting your data or using your data, they have to be transparent. A good data governance system in an ethics workspace have to be transparent on how and what they use your data to do, be it test warning, sharing it to third-party apps, so that you know that yes, this is what I agree to, and no, this is what I don't agree to. The next ethics in data governance is accountability, holding organizations accountable for their data management practices and outcomes, including the ethical implications of their decisions. Like the example I gave earlier now, for the iWatch, the other guy is not, because there's a bias towards white people not able to use the heart detector function in the iWatch. So whereas in a good ethics data governance, we are supposed to hold that company accountable for basically putting on bias practices and bringing out bias outcome in data governance system. The next outcome is ownership. Ownership, it involves taking ownership of any ethical violation that might occur in data practices and ensuring that proper measures are in place to rectify them. Individuals have ownership over their data and how it is used. Have you received their informed consent for its use in your particular context? So this ownership basically is it just defines what we as users, we are the owner of the data, and we will decide on what and how our data is being used. And they will tell us, they will get consent from us on how to use our data. Last year, Facebook paid a sum of $725 million to American citizens. Why? Because they were sued by some of American citizens, by a plaintiff in California, that they used personal data, user data, and they shared it with third-party organizations, which is in breach of their contract, which they are not supposed to do. And when people found out, they sued Facebook and they took them to court. It took 4 years before they could reach an agreement, and Facebook decided to settle the class action lawsuit for $725 million, which is in violation of their ethics and terms and conditions. Other ethics in data governance includes privacy. Privacy, a person's personal data being protected and kept secure so that any identifiable information is not available to unauthorized users. Has it been anonymized or further protect privacy? We all know what privacy is, being that protecting your data and keeping it from external bodies of having access to it. The next one we have is consent. Consent is the principle that underscores the importance of obtaining explicit and informed permission from individuals before the data is collected or used for any purposes. We all know how consent works. Our organization, we have to give you consent of how they will use your data and what they use your data to do. The next outline is regulatory compliance. Many jurisdictions have enacted or in the process of enacting data protection regulations. Data ethics helps organizations adhere to these standards, reducing the risks of legal sanctions beyond mere compliance. An ethical framework demonstrates a proactive stance, signaling to regulators and the public that the organization is a responsible data handler, just like what I said earlier about Facebook. Because of the regulation put in place, people were able to sue Facebook, and they risked legal sanctions, and they had legal fees to pay because of what they did, sharing of data to third-party organizations, which they are not supposed to do. These are personal private data that are not supposed to be shared out to third-party organizations. Now, the next outline is data sharing. It allows individuals to have control over if and how their data is shared, especially with third parties. When sharing, ensure the receiving party upholds similar ethical standards and security measures. Like exactly the same thing I was talking about, still on Facebook. They shared their data without users' concepts. So the users had to sue them for that. And if, for example, your organization or Facebook had to share data, they will have to let the users know. And Facebook, being that in their data governance, they have to ensure the organization, third-party organization they are sharing to, also have ethical standards and security measures to protect those personal data. Are we all following? Hello?
Yes, yes, I'm with you.
Yes, we are with you.
Okay, okay. Um, the next outline is privacy in data governance. Now, what is basically privacy? Now, we all know when we sign up for various things online, the organization we're signing up with is the due diligence to protect our data from external bodies. Imagine you sign up for example, now imagine you sign up for maybe a social media app and you put in your name, your address, and phone number, and you later find out that someone had access to that data you shared. That is not privacy. Your privacy has been breach of privacy. You know, privacy in data governance refers to the protection of individual personal information throughout the life cycle, from collection to use, storage, and eventually disposal. It involves ensuring that individuals have control over how their data is collected, shared, and used by the organization or entity. So that's how privacy works. Basically, the protection of individual personal information throughout the life cycle from the time of creation to the time it's deleted and no more in the system. Now, the structure of privacy in data governance. The umbrella of data protection, data privacy. Data privacy sets guidelines for how and why personal data is collected. Data privacy ensures data use aligns with individual concepts and intended purpose. Its ultimate goal is to maintain users' trust. You understand what I'm saying? Data privacy. You are entrusting your data to the organization by giving them so and so data. So as a result of that trust, they are supposed to protect it by all costs to ensure and maintain user trust. Now, another umbrella under data protection is the data security. The technical expert in data protection, that's data security, data security implements protective digital measures like firewalls and encryption to protect your data from external bodies. And it protects against breaches and cyber threats. That's exactly what I had. Cyber hackers and threats, it's obligated for the organization to always protect our data. A good data for organization is always good for them to protect our data against cyber threats and against online breaches. Key aspects of privacy in data governance. Now, the first key aspect of privacy in data governance is the data collection process. Now, the data collection process has to basically build the purpose limitation, collecting data only for specified and legitimate purposes disclosed to individuals. Now, whatever they are collecting your data from, like for example, now, if some of you use ChatGPT, once you sign up for ChatGPT, they will tell you that, listen, this data, some of the conversation you'll be having with the AI, they are going to use it to train, do test runs in their, use it to do test runs on the data. And they will ask you if you're okay with that. If you're okay, you say yes, and you continue using. If you're not, you close it and you disclose it and you discontinue from it. And another under the data collection is informed concepts, just like what I said, obtaining explicit consent from individuals before collecting their personal personal data, informing them of the purposes and potential uses, just like what I said. They will inform you of what, give you the consent of what they want to use your data for and how they want to use it. That's basically informed consent. What is that all about? Data use and processing. Another key aspect in privacy is data use and processing. Data minimization, limiting the collection of personal data to what is necessary for specified purposes. That data minimization, limiting the collection of personal data. And anonymization and pseudonymization, protecting privacy by removing or encrypting identifiable information. Protecting privacy by removing or encrypting identifiable information. Let's, for example, now our password, when we, all those web developers, when we want to input passwords, we use bcrypt to encrypt the password so that once it's saved, it's saved as a stake in our database, So that is one of the data key aspects of privacy in data governance. Another key aspect of privacy in data governance is data storage and security. Secure storage. Ensuring personal data is stored securely, protecting it from unauthorized access, breaches, or leaks. So secure storage is really, I think secure storage is really important in privacy in data, key aspect in privacy in data governance. Some last year, there's a group of hackers known as Anonymous. They hacked some organization websites in the US and they leaked out various data of their users. And they were known public figures that are in that organization. So the public figures, as a result of that, they had to sue the organization for not protecting their data securely. And secure storage is a very key aspect in privacy in data governance. Retention period. establishing guidelines for how long personal data can be retained and securely deleted when no longer needed. For example, recently, Gmail, that's Google Mail, updated their privacy, their terms and conditions that if an inactive Gmail is inactive for I think 2 years or 1 year, it will be deleted off from the system. Normally, they normally leave it there, but I think now the retention period they have um, they have updated their terms and conditions on their retention period that if you have an inactive Gmail for over a year, it will be deleted off their system. Another key aspect in privacy in data governance is data sharing and transfer, legal and secure transfer, ensuring that personal data is transferred legally and securely, especially across borders, while different privacy laws may apply. Transferring one data from one source to another and obeying the privacy laws is really, really important in key aspects in privacy and data governance. Contracts and agreements. We all know how this one works. Implementing contracts or agreements with third parties to safeguard personal data they process on behalf of the organization. Like I said, the organization we send our data to have the obligation to protect our data from external bodies. But being that in a case whereby they share our data to third-party organization, they also have to safeguard agreements with third parties to safeguard personal data they process on behalf of the organization. That is one of the key aspects of privacy. Another one is user rights. The access and rectifications, providing individuals with the right to access their personal data and correcting inaccuracies. We all have rights as data users when we give organizations our data. We have the rights if we want to change, anytime we want to change any information on our data in another organization, we can go in there and change it and delete and remove anything at all. That is the user right we have in privacy and data governance. Another key aspect in privacy and data governance is compliance and accountability. Now, like I said, there are regulatory compliances that are put in place based on jurisdictions for all organizations to adhere to. Now, regulatory compliance, adhering to relevant privacy laws and regulations, such as the GDPR, CCPA, that's California. GDPR is in Europe, the CCPA is in California in the United States, or other applicable to your jurisdiction or industry. Here in Nigeria, we also have one here in Nigeria that our laws in Nigeria that helps protect our data governance. Now, I want to tell briefly on the regulatory compliance, that's the legal framework in privacy. Data privacy laws specify how data should be collected, stored, and shared with third parties. The most widely discussed privacy laws include the GDPR, the European Union's General Data Protection Regulations. It's the most comprehensive data law in effect. It applies to European Union citizens and all companies that do business with them, including countries not based in Europe, including countries not based in Europe. GDPR gives individuals the right to determine what data organization stores. Requests that GDPR gives individuals the right to determine what data organizations store, request that organizations delete their data, and receive notification of data breaches. Non-compliance may result in hefty fines and legal actions. Like for example, now if you want to by any means have an organization in Europe and you are a data firm or an IT firm, you have to adhere to the European Union General Data Protection laws that are put in place, whether you like it or not. If not, you'll be held in legal fines and legal actions. While also we have the CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act. The California Consumer Privacy Act is a state-level regulation in the United States. It enables California residents to ask organizations what personal data exists about them, delete it on request, and find out what data has been given out to third parties. These measures apply to consumer data gathered within the states. That's in California. They have the law states in California that California residents are to ask organization what personal data exists about them, delete it on request, and find out what data has been given to third-party apps, third-party organization. So if by any means you want to have or start an organization, a data IT firm or organization in California, you have to go through all these laws maybe to avoid legal actions. Also, we have the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, that is COPPA. It ensures information privacy for minors in the US. Social media companies like Twitter and Facebook, don't allow children under the age of 13 to create their own account. That's why you can't find children under the age of 13 who have Facebook and Twitter account. It's not allowed in the US by law. So whether Facebook or Twitter like it or not, children under the age of 13 can't have an account with them, social media account with them. While in Nigeria, we have the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. That's Nigeria here, where I am. The NDPR. The NDPR provides legal safeguards for the processing of personal data. Under the NDPR, personal data must be processed in accordance with specific and legitimate and lawful purposes consented to by the data subject, that the users are the data subject, and how our data is being processed by law in Nigeria. The organization are requested to give specifics and legitimate purpose on how our data is being processed here in Nigeria. Now, I don't think I have time. Is there still time?
No, just 2 minutes.
Okay, okay, let me just quickly talk about the future trends and challenges in data governance. Now, we have AI ethics, bias and fairness, like what I said earlier. Ensuring AI systems are free from bias and make fair decisions is crucial. Biases in training can lead to discriminatory outcomes, like what I said earlier about the iPhone watch. As a result of not able to detect white person's heartbeat and blacks and detect my own heartbeat because of my skin color, that is basically a bias in their system, in their test run. And as a result of that, when they use it in their test run and AI use it for AI regulations, it creates a bias system whereby it's not authentic, doesn't bring out authentic results in our system. And the next trend is the data privacy, the GDPR and the global regulations. Compliance with regulations like GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation in Europe and similar laws worldwide requires organizations to handle personal data responsibly. As all organizations worldwide are obligated to handle personal data responsibly because there are laws and regulations.
Sorry, we are already out of time.
Sorry?
We are out of time.
Okay. Any question or what?
Okay, thank you very much, Tyson. It's time for us to end the KD. You still have more?
You said what? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Please, can anyone hear me?
I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you before.
Okay, so I was saying it's time for us to end the KD, please.
Okay.
Do you still have more slides you wanted to talk about?
Just a few.
Okay, so what will happen is that we'll have to reschedule, all right?
Okay.
Maybe some other time you continue from where you've stopped.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining. Please do have a productive day.
Okay.